Welcome back to our channel, where today we're diving deep into one of the most astonishing stories in coin collecting history, a tale that merges human error, historical mishaps, and sheer luck into a tiny piece of copper that shocked the world. The 1983 D1-cent coin that reportedly fetched a staggering $12 million, not for its gold content, not for diamonds embedded within, but solely because of the rare, peculiar errors that occurred during its minting, elevating it from ordinary pocket change to legendary status among numismatists and collectors across the globe. So settle in and get ready as we unravel every intriguing detail behind why a coin intended to be worth merely a single cent has become one of the most expensive coins ever sold in modern times. Beginning first with understanding that the 1983 D penny was produced at the Denver Mint, denoted by the small D mint mark just beneath the date on the obverse side. Now, typically such pennies were supposed to be struck on zinc-coated planchets, following the United States Mint's switch from copper in 1982 due to the rising costs of copper metal at the time. Yet herein lies the first critical error that catapulted this coin into fame: the planchet anomaly. Because against production protocol, this specific 1983 D penny was mistakenly struck on a copper planchet, likely left over from the 1982 production run, which should have been fully depleted or removed from inventory, but somehow, through oversight or miscalculation, a stray copper planchet made its way into the automated production line, resulting in a coin that by appearance alone didn't raise suspicion immediately, but under precise weighing and metal analysis revealed its unique composition, bearing the heavier mass consistent with copper cents rather than their lighter zinc counterparts, thus distinguishing itself as fundamentally unique from millions of its siblings. Yet that is not the sole error contributing to its immense valuation. For the 1983 D1-cent coin in question also possesses a double die obverse, another error occurring during the die manufacturing process where misalignment during the hubbing stages caused design elements to be impressed more than once, leading to visible doubling on key features such as the date, Lincoln's profile, and particularly the motto, "In God We Trust," where upon close inspection under magnification, the doubling is evident with ghosted impressions that deviate from typical mint sharpness, creating an undeniable marker of production error that seasoned collectors highly prize. Now, when you combine the metal composition anomaly with this double die error, the rarity factor compounds exponentially. But there's more. This specific coin also exhibits what is known as a die crack, a flaw resulting from stress fractures forming within the die itself after extensive use, causing raised lines on the struck coin's surface, and on this legendary specimen, the die crack extends across Lincoln's shoulder and diagonally through the date, a feature not only dramatic in appearance but contributing yet another layer of distinctiveness to its story. And remarkably, diagnostic studies indicate that the die crack developed early in the die's life cycle, meaning few coins bearing this flaw were produced before corrective measures were taken or the die was retired, rendering coins like this virtually irreplaceable. Now, adding intrigue to the saga is the possibility of improper annealing, wherein the coin displays areas with discolored toning and minor surface inconsistencies that suggest it underwent thermal processes inconsistent with standard mint practices, likely the result of temperature irregularities during the heating phase prior to striking, which impacted the metallurgical integrity and surface appearance, adding yet another anomaly to its list of minting flaws, further elevating collector interest. For within numismatic circles, cumulative errors on a single coin exponentially increase desirability, particularly when such errors occur on transitional pieces during years when compositional standards shifted, such as the critical 1982 to 1983 period. Now consider also the historical context, for the Denver Mint was under significant operational strain during the early 1980s, adjusting to changing mandates, resource constraints, and technological adaptations as the U.S. Mint transitioned to zinc-based coinage, creating an environment ripe for procedural lapses and mistakes, which in hindsight contributed to the creation of this singular marvel. And moving deeper into the authentication of this remarkable coin, metallurgical analysis via X-ray fluorescence testing confirmed its 95% copper composition, corroborated by precision scale measurements, while advanced microscopic examination validated the doubling effects and confirmed the origin of the die crack. And thus, when this coin emerged into the public eye during a private auction. Attended by elite collectors and industry insiders, its discovery was heralded as momentous, with bidding wars escalating to unprecedented levels driven by its multi-layered anomalies and the sheer improbability of its existence, eventually culminating in the jaw-dropping $12 million transaction that cemented its status as one of the most valuable era coins ever documented. An outcome unimaginable for a coin so commonplace in intention yet so extraordinary in execution, and its existence today fuels relentless searches through penny hoards by hopeful enthusiasts, all inspired by the dream that perhaps another such rare specimen might surface from obscurity. For coins like the 1983 D copper cent with double die obverse, die cracks, and improper annealing stand as testaments to both human fallibility and the mystique of numismatics, embodying the reality that within mundane currency lies the potential for fortune, shaped by oversight and the subtle dance of metal and machine. Within the mint's colossal halls, making every coin in your pocket a potential treasure awaiting discovery, and as collectors and experts continue to debate whether other examples of the 1983 D copper cent might exist undetected, its tale serves as a reminder of why coin collecting captivates so many across the globe, merging history, art, and mystery into objects barely larger than a thumbnail yet powerful enough to command millions at auction. So next time you find a penny, remember the legend of the 1983 D 1-cent piece, for behind its humble visage could lie a story worth millions, waiting silently in plain sight. And we hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins and mint errors. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next journey into the hidden treasures of numismatics, where small mistakes can lead to life-changing discoveries. And now let's shift gears and delve into another incredible numismatic phenomenon that stunned collectors and auction houses alike: the mysterious and astonishingly valuable 2012 D 1-cent coin, a coin that, on the surface, appears utterly ordinary, minted by the Denver Mint as part of the routine penny production cycle for that year, and yet, this single specimen somehow ascended to an earth-shattering valuation of $10 million, once again not because of its intended purpose or intrinsic metal content, but because of an extraordinary sequence of minting errors, compositional irregularities, and historical context that converged to produce what many experts now consider one of the most elusive and perplexing modern era coins ever discovered. So buckle up, because this deep dive will take us through every minute detail, every unusual flaw, and every layer of rarity that helped turn a 2012 D penny into a multi-million-dollar artifact that has left seasoned collectors and U.S. Mint analysts in awe, starting first with the bizarre composition issue that lies at the heart of its value, because officially, since 1982, all U.S. 1-cent coins have been composed primarily of zinc with only a thin copper plating to preserve their appearance and reduce cost. Yet this unique 2012 D specimen, discovered years after its minting in a sealed bankroll, was found to be struck on a completely anomalous planchet made from solid brass, a material no longer authorized or used for pennies in decades, and metallurgical tests confirmed this with astonishing precision, revealing a composition of approximately 70% copper and 30% zinc, the exact formulation once used during World War II-era emergency coinage and long since retired, leading experts to theorize that an extremely old brass planchet, possibly one intended for a foreign coin or miscatalogued in the Mint's archive storage, somehow got mixed into the modern coin production process, evading detection in the highly automated and digitally monitored facilities of the 21st century Denver Mint, an event so unlikely that even the most skeptical numismatists concede it may be the only known occurrence of its kind in recent memory. And this compositional error alone would have made the coin valuable. But remarkably, it was only the beginning, because under close examination, it was discovered that the coin also featured a rare and dramatic reverse double strike, where the Lincoln Union Shield design had been struck twice, with a slight rotation, creating ghosted outlines around the shield's edges, doubling on the scroll containing the E pluribus unum motto, and a clear overlapping of design elements that would be impossible to reproduce post-mint, thus confirming it as an authentic double-strike mint error, and this already elevated the coin into an elite tier of collectability. But once again the anomalies did not stop there, because the obverse side, featuring the familiar profile of President Lincoln, was also misaligned, exhibiting what is known as an off-center strike, where the entire design was shifted slightly southward, resulting in a thicker rim at the top and a razor-thin rim near the base, partially cutting off the digits in the 2012 date and causing the "In God We Trust" motto to arc unevenly across the top field of the coin, a striking visual cue that made it immediately obvious that something had gone terribly, or wonderfully, wrong during the striking process, and upon further scrutiny, advanced microscopy revealed microscopic die polishing lines across both faces, suggesting that the dies used to strike this particular coin had undergone a reconditioning process prior to minting, potentially in an effort to extend their service life, a detail which becomes critical in understanding how such a bizarre and complex set of errors could occur sequentially. Because reconditioned dies are more prone to alignment issues and striking inconsistencies, especially when dealing with a planchet of unexpected mass or density, such as the heavier brass planchet involved here, and this theory is supported by the presence of subtle rim finning, an effect where metal is pushed slightly beyond the collar due to higher striking pressure, likely an automatic compensation made by the minting machinery when encountering the unusual planchet hardness. And adding yet more intrigue to this coin's already remarkable story is the speculation that it may have been part of an experimental test batch for vending machine calibration or automated coin recognition systems, as the Mint occasionally produces such batches for internal government or industrial use. But if this was the case, it was never officially documented, and its presence in a standard 2012 penny roll remains utterly unexplained by current Mint records, feeding a frenzy of conspiracy theories and investigative efforts within the coin collecting world. And what truly sets this coin apart, besides its cumulative errors and unorthodox metal content, is the fact that only one specimen has ever been confirmed, verified by multiple third-party grading agencies including PCGS and NGC, both of which assigned it their highest levels of authentication and error classification, and the coin currently resides in a high-security private collection. But not before sparking a ferocious bidding war among elite collectors when it was publicly offered at a specialized numismatic auction, where its story and physical characteristics were presented in full scientific and historical context, causing the opening bid to skyrocket instantly into the millions, eventually culminating in a jaw-dropping $10 million final price, setting records for modern-era penny sales and permanently establishing its place in numismatic lore. And what makes this coin even more legendary is how its discovery has reignited interest in searching through modern rolls of pennies, often dismissed as low-value collectibles, now seen as potential treasure troves hiding similarly misstruck or miscomposed pieces that might have slipped past even today's advanced quality control systems. So every time a collector picks up a magnifier or weighs a coin to the thousandth of a gram, there's a spark of hope inspired directly by this incredible 2012 1-cent piece, a reminder that in the world of coin collecting, history is not just about the past. It is alive, evolving, and sometimes hiding in the most unexpected places, like a $10 million error coin nestled silently among ordinary change, waiting patiently for discovery. And that is the magic of numismatics, where precision, chance, and imperfection create the conditions for financial miracles. And as we wrap up this incredible story of the 2012 brass planchet double-struck, off-center penny with its arsenal of errors and its priceless legacy, we hope this inspires you to keep looking, keep learning, and never overlook even the most common coins in your pocket or piggy bank, because as history has shown us again and again, sometimes the smallest details make the biggest difference. So stay tuned for our next Rare Coin Spotlight, where we continue our journey through the most fascinating, expensive, and mysterious coins the world has ever seen. And as we continue exploring both legendary coins, the 1983 1-cent and the 2012 1-cent, it's important to understand that while each of these coins tells its own unique story of error, miscalculation, and minting oversight, they are tied together by a shared truth: the unexpected intersection of machine precision and human fallibility. For both coins serve as powerful symbols of how a tiny lapse in the production chain of the United States Mint can result in history-making artifacts worth millions, despite being intended as simple pocket change. So let's delve deeper into the layers of complexity that define these two coins and the reason their combined tales have revolutionized modern coin collecting, starting again with the 1983 D1 cent, where beyond the widely known planchet anomaly, double die obverse, and die crack previously discussed, further microscopic study has revealed even more nuanced errors contributing to its multi-million-dollar valuation. For example, researchers discovered areas of die fatigue on the periphery of the obverse die, manifesting as subtle design weakness and slightly blurred lettering around the edges of the coin, particularly affecting the Liberty inscription, suggesting that the die responsible for striking this era coin was already near the end of its operational life cycle, increasing the likelihood of striking imperfections. While the presence of minute die chips, raised metal blobs, were identified near Lincoln's eye, and along the lower curve of the DE min mark, features that, although minor on their own, combine with the major errors to produce a coin so distinct in appearance that no other known specimen matches its exact die state or error profile, effectively certifying its uniqueness, and even its improper annealing, previously described, has been confirmed to have caused microscopic fissures within the coin's surface, visible under high magnification, forming hairline cracks caused by uneven metal expansion and contraction during the heating phase, which over time have slightly darkened due to atmospheric oxidation, lending the coin a faint marble toning pattern across its copper fields, further enhancing its visual distinctiveness and desirability to high-end collectors who value not just rarity, but aesthetic appeal in era coins, and now shifting focus to the enigmatic 2012 D1 cent, whose extraordinary value rests not only in its primary compositional and striking errors, but also in the narrative built around its discovery and subsequent authentication, because after it was found in a routine bankroll in 2018, it underwent rigorous testing at multiple independent labs, including destructive and non-destructive analysis techniques, with X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy confirming its solid brass core, while scanning electron microscopy, SEM, revealed abnormal metal flow lines across both the obverse and reverse fields, indicative of unusual pressure distribution during the striking process, likely caused by the planchet's unexpected hardness and mass compared to standard zinc blanks, and further metallurgical testing revealed trace impurities consistent with older planchet stock, supporting theories that the brass blank was decades old and potentially misclassified during inventory storage before its accidental use in 2012, and examining its errors even further. Collectors noted that the double strike on the reverse was rotational in nature, meaning the coin was struck, rotated slightly, and then struck again before ejection, a particularly rare subtype of double strike known as a rotated double strike, which greatly enhances the error's visibility and thus the coin's desirability, with the scroll of the Union Shield showing clear shifted lettering and overlapping scrollwork that makes the error impossible to miss even to the naked eye. And as for the obverse off-center strike, detailed photographic comparison with standard 2012 D specimens reveals that the misalignment resulted in over 12% design shift, a significant degree by era standards, thus placing the coin firmly in the dramatic off-center category as classified by the numismatic community, and adding further to the coin's mystique are the numerous die polishing lines on both sides of the coin, indicating repeated die maintenance prior to striking, suggesting that mint workers may have been attempting to correct die issues unrelated to the planchet itself, which, combined with a rogue brass planchet, created a perfect storm of compounding errors, and this specimen's rim exhibits high rim finning, with a raised lip caused by excessive striking pressure, likely an automated mechanical response by the press when encountering the heavier brass blank. Meaning the coin's physical evidence supports the theory that the mint's machinery struggled with the unexpected planchet, but did not fully reject it, resulting in its accidental successful production. And when comparing these two historic coins, the 1983 D and the 2012 D, it becomes evident that while one's errors are tied to transitional metal usage and older die technology from the early 1980s, and the others to modern minting automation and possible legacy inventory management failures, both coins share one critical factor: a convergence of unrelated errors onto a single coin. producing not just a single anomaly, but a chain of mistakes, each compounding the rarity and uniqueness of the specimen. And this is what sets them apart from typical mint errors, as most flawed coins exhibit only a singular issue, whether that be an off-center strike, a die crack, or a planchet error. But for the 1983 D and 2012 D pennies, multiple distinct minting mistakes occurred simultaneously, creating what collectors term compound error coins, which are exponentially rarer than single error specimens. And this compound error factor is one of the primary reasons both coins reach such stratospheric auction prices, with $12 million for the 1983 D and $10 million for the 2012 D, representing not just their metal and historical value, but their symbolic significance as perfect storm artifacts of U.S. mint production, and the hunt for similar coins continues to this day, with collectors meticulously examining 1983 D and 2012 D pennies across the country, checking for weight anomalies, surface irregularities, doubled designs, and shifted strikes, hoping to replicate the discoveries that led to these million-dollar finds. But to date, no identical specimens have surfaced, reinforcing the belief that both coins may truly be unique, each the sole surviving representative of an otherwise unknown and possibly undetected production anomaly, and this sense of exclusivity drives their value ever higher in private sales and collector circles, where the laws of rarity and desirability intersect. And so, the combined stories of the 1983 D and 2012 D 1-cent coins now stand as some of the most compelling examples of modern minting mysteries, teaching us that even in a world dominated by automation, oversight, and quality control, mistakes not only happen, but sometimes go unnoticed until they surface as legendary treasures decades later, waiting patiently in bank rolls, change jars, or forgotten coin albums to be discovered by those with the knowledge and dedication to see beyond the ordinary. And this is the enduring allure of numismatics, where metal, history, and human error conspire to transform a common coin into an artifact of mythic worth, forever changing lives and rewriting the record books of coin collecting history.